Hey folks, hope you're well. I've made the mistake of doing my vlogging right as the kids are having their bath time in the other room. So if you hear any noise in the background, you'll have to forgive me. It should be okay. I'm far enough away that it shouldn't be a problem. But I just can hear Ben splashing around. He treats it like a water park in there, bless him. So there'll be some cleaning up to do once I'm done, I imagine. It's been a quick weekend, I think. I'm kind of shocked that I'm going back to work tomorrow after a week off. It's been a very quick week in general. I'm a bit in a weird... Do you know what? I was very close to not recording because ultimately I am still knackered and I don't know what's going on. I'm a little bit worried about how tired I am. I've been falling asleep on the sofa every day from about 4 o'clock and I've been getting up feeling tired and it's just weird. Now, I'm hoping it's because I'm due my testosterone jab on Wednesday. I have to have that every 3 months because I can't remember how long ago it was now, like 2 years ago. I went to the doctor and said I just feel like crap all the time. And they just said, do you know what? Let's do some checkups. Let's look at some bits and pieces. And when they got them back, my testosterone levels were just through the floor. And they said, look, if we lift them up, you'll feel good. They did. It worked. And yeah, every 3 months I've just been going for this jab, which is very painful, very uncomfortable, but it does make me feel good. Now, I realised, because I think Friday, I just didn't feel right, and I think Emily smashed a cup, which I was very gutted about, and then Ben smashed a glass, and it just little bits like that really got to me, and I ended up being really grumpy, and then I was knackered and everything, and then I suddenly thought, when's my jab due? And I was like, it's due on Wednesday. Now, I've never been this tired the week before. Normally Tuesday, I'm like when a record slows down and it's like, I start getting a bit like that. Everything just feels stupidly slow and I feel really clumsy. And then I have the injection and I feel fine. I'm pretty sure the week that I reversed my car into the house was when I was due the jab. I'm pretty sure some of the biggest mistakes and kerfuffles have been around this bloody jab. So yeah, this just feels like the worst week I've had so far on it, and I might have to bring it up with them and just see whether they'll raise it next time, because I don't know whether that is a difference, whether maybe my levels are off, I don't know. But I am more nervous because I'm going to see the dermatologist specialist lady tomorrow about that, the skin thing, where the doctor was being very flippant about it potentially being cancerous or whatever. I still don't think it will be, but I've never felt this tired and achy. I feel achy as well. That's the other thing I didn't really mention. My legs just ache, my hips ache. It's like in my bones. And I have been going out. Like, we've had a really nice weekend of going to the park. You know, we've been going for the odd walk here and there. Maybe I've not been going out much. I'm not going to lie. Like, but with kids, you are just active all the time. I'm carrying Ben all the time. I'm throwing them around all the time. I'm dragging them around the house, like physically lifting the boys up, even Ollie, even though he's 8. And, you know, he's heavy. And so that does put you back out sometimes. But I've not had that kind of problem. I am active enough, but oh my God, I am exhausted. So hopefully I'll go tomorrow and I'll see everything's fine. And that'll give me a bit of brain space without worrying. And then on Wednesday I'll have the injection, and by Thursday, Friday I'll feel human again. But the whole point of me having the week off was I told my colleagues I was going to come back in tomorrow feeling superhuman and ready to go. And I'm worried about getting up before 8 o'clock. I'm not going to be able to do it. I haven't been able to get up before 10 o'clock really all week, and it's just, and I've been going to bed normal sort of time, half 11, 12, maybe a little bit later. Some nights I couldn't sleep. It's just a weird one. But anyway, you're not here to hear me whinge. It's just yeah, it's just a weird one. I've not had anything like it. I am so tired and it's really knocking me for 6. I just don't know where it's come from. I haven't got a bug or anything. I've always got a slightly blocked up nose. It's very dusty in my room at the moment for reasons I'll get into in a second. But yeah, I'm otherwise healthy, so it's very bizarre. So with the room, I mentioned that where I've ordered the computer and I can't convert my garage yet and all that kind of stuff. My big plan was to move our TV around and move our desk around and start recording in here the moment the device arrives. I decided in a rush of foolishness yesterday, even though I was knackered, that I'd start moving everything around. I moved these wall unit things to the side, put one up, right, so it was very, very tall, lifted our TV up as high as I could get it on top of it, ended up bumping the ceiling. There's now a permanent black mark on our ceiling that I don't know whether I'm just going to paint over or what. I don't really know how. If I paint that, it's it's probably going to just leave a white mark there. And if I clean it, it's probably going to leave a white mark there. I can't really win. I might have to just leave it as a black mark forever. But yeah, I've scuffed the ceiling. And then once it was all up there, I realised none of the wires were long enough to reach the floor. I then measured the gap that I'd left, and it wasn't big enough for the desk. So then I had to lift the TV back down, flip everything back how it was, and just put it exactly like it. Within 2 hours, it looked exactly the same as it had been at the start. I really wish the universe had a rewind button because, damn it, I really wish I hadn't touched it, mainly because of that mark on the ceiling. I'm going to be looking at that. I'm going to be laying in bed staring at that now. It's right above me now, and I'm just thinking, it's just dumb. Why did I do it? I don't know. It's just, I mean, I'm 90% sure I did it. The TV did touch the ceiling. There's no mark on the TV, but there is a black mark on the ceiling. Claire was like, I'm pretty sure that was you. I can't work out how it happened, and I don't know. It doesn't matter, does it? I'll just make loads of marks until the point where we have to get someone in to do the ceiling. I don't know who paints ceilings. Michelangelo? Is he still around? I spent a lot of the weekend doing Pokemon stuff. That should just go without saying. You know, questions like, is Sheepdog breathing? Yes, he is. Is he playing Pokemon? Yes, he is. I kind of went a bit nuts this week because they have Mewtwo in raids, and I'm like the only person in the world who doesn't have a shiny one. So I was doing literally every raid. Anytime someone had a raid on, I was driving out to it. Anytime someone invited me to a raid, I was getting a pass for it. I spent more money this week in Pokemon than I care to admit. Maybe it's not that much, to be fair. If I broke a tenner, I'd be surprised, but it's still too much for one thing. But I did a lot of raids. It feels like that's all I was doing. They left raids and I'd failed to get it. And then somebody said to me, there is an egg on the other side of Deepin that it hasn't hatched yet. 8 o'clock was the deadline. This was hatching at 8:30, but it had appeared before 8. So there was a 1 in 4 chance of it being a Mewtwo. So I waited patiently for 8:30 to arrive, and when it arrived, it was a Mewtwo. So I got Ollie's account, my account. I invited some friends from down in Essex remotely, and we did it. And when it appeared shiny, I made such a loud noise. I'm so glad there was no one else there. I was in the middle of nowhere on my own. I thought I'd look so lame. I was like, yes! And then thought, this is a new low for me. But I come home and told Claire, and she was like, "Yeah, that's just lame, bless you." I thought I'd be lucky and keep raiding for Articunos then, because it's the only other shiny I need, and I didn't get one. So it's just short-lived success. But we both days we went to the park with the kids. So while they were playing, I was trying to raid then because they both have gyms at them. Yesterday we went and we were racing round. Ben was standing on a scooter and I was holding either side of it and running it around the track with him, which was quite nice. I thought it was really sweet. He was like waving at Claire, and the kids were pretending to be animals. We had to swerve round, and they were pretending to be cars or police. You know, it was just a fun little game. We tried playing football with a very, very deflated football. Like, I'd kick it as hard as I could and it would just go like... I mean, it's a good job I knew it was deflated, because I'd have been freaking out about my strength. I basically wanted to do like a goal kick with it. I took a run and kick, and it barely went like 50 yards. And I just thought, either I'm extremely weak or this ball is really flat. And then I think Oliver stood on it and it just went so squashy. So we ordered another one tonight that came last night, that came today. So we pumped that up. Next time we go out, we've got a proper ball to play with. Ben's really good at dribbling at the moment, and I'm thinking we should really get him into that. He could be a winger when he's older. I don't know if I could be asked to push him into football, but yeah, it'd be interesting. He's really good. Like, for his age, he's only 3, obviously, but like, he was just running with the ball in front of him. I can't do that. I don't have the skills to do that. It doesn't work for me. I mean, as I say, he's only 3. I'm just saying he's really good for his age. I'm not expecting him to suddenly be playing for England, but that'd be awesome, obviously. So today we went to the park, and it was a bit of a weird one because Ollie brought his iPad, so he was just kind of sat in the shade playing Minecraft Earth and running around anytime we saw something in that. I was raiding, Ben was playing, and when we got there, Emily's friend lives next to the park and she happened to be out, so they went off for a walk together. They've not seen each other in over a year. It's like a friend from her last school that went to a different school. So when it was time to leave, because Spurs were on in like 10 minutes, she was like, I want to stay out, so we left her out for a bit. They just stood out hanging. It was really, it was nice for them to see each other. I was like, oh, is everyone, did she talk about all your friends? And she's like, no, we just reminisced and all of this. I was like, oh, great, kids. But while we were there, we noticed her parents somehow have just like, apparently the dad on his own has extended their house, put like windows in, big wall, all this stuff. And I'm looking at that thinking, we've been trying to sort out our bloody garage, and I would not dream of cutting a hole in the wall for a door, sticking a wall up, putting a window in, doing a floor, doing the insulating, wiring the place. But apparently he's done it on his own over the course of, I mean, I remember they were doing work about 2 years ago, and he's just been doing it bit by bit. I'm guessing COVID's helped. He's been locked at home, so he's just carried on. But while we were there, he was coming out with a big, massive, long white thing that he was like laying up along the wall and all of this. And we were just like, I'm not deluded enough to think I'd even remotely be able to do it properly. Like, I don't even think I know where to start. Like, literally, where would you begin? If I wanted to put a door in my wall, do I literally get some kind of power saw and just go? Because that's what I would do, and that's probably not the way you do it. You probably bang it through, but then I feel like if you bang it through, you'd knock the whole wall down. I don't really know. It seems a bit weird, but I know my sister jokingly said, "Oh, my brother-in-law could come down and help out," and I was like, "No, I'm not letting anyone I know come down and destroy my garage, because I'd rather pay someone to do it, and then when they mess it up, they're insured, and I rake them over the coals for it." But we're still kind of stuck with that. Like I said last video, that we are halfway towards paying for it. But Claire was looking through the quotes we got, and one guy reckoned he could do it for $4,000, which seemed too cheap by miles. Another guy reckoned he could do it for over 10 grand, and it was like, that seems far too much. And then we had a guy in the middle that said he could do it for about 6.5. Now, we're sort of in that, right, the middle one is the front runner of the three, but should we probably go and get another 10 quotes or something, just to be like, right, okay, because the average of the three, he wins, but does he only win because he's less of a cowboy than the first one, but he's not as proficient as the other one? I'm not genuinely criticizing him, because I don't know him from Adam. I've seen some examples of his work, they looked good, but I don't really know what to do here. It's the first major project we've ever kind of considered. We had a guy around to look at our garden because it keeps flooding, and he was like telling us that we should find out if we've got I can't remember what it's called, like a drain hole thing, that he was like, if you've got one of them, it's full, and that's why your garden's flooding in this patch. I don't think we have one of them, but he was like, otherwise it would cost you hundreds to fix it, and blah blah blah. And I said to Claire, surely that's just digging up and sticking dirt under and flattening it back down again. And we were debating whether that was something you could do ourselves, but that guy, again, it was like, well, we don't know, do we? Whether you're an expert, whether you're someone who just wants to make 300 quid, whether it would cost much more than that, much less than that. I'm guessing it would cost hundreds at least to have someone come out and fix that. But this whole workman thing just messes with me. I feel like there needs to be some sort of proper register of like, this is how much stuff costs, this is what it involves, because I have a good feel for most things. If I was buying a new car and it cost $1,000, like a brand new car, I'd be like, okay, that's not right, that shouldn't be that cheap. Buying a computer, I knew roughly what the parts should cost. I'm good at a lot of that stuff, but just parts and labor, I don't know, it's just confusing, isn't it? Because some novice can value their labor really high, and some expert could be really like, I'll do that for, it's only going to take me 2 days, I'll do it for whatever. So yeah, I'm not too thrilled about the fun of this. I wish I kind of did have that kind of brain. I knew how to do these things, and I'm not gonna make this my first time learning it, because it seems like a very foolish idea. If it was a much smaller project, I might consider it. But when Claire and I laid the floor in our bathroom, it was just hell. We spent like 8, 9, I think it's probably 15 hours more like, earlier in lockdown, laying this new floor in our bathroom, and we were knackered after it. Like, I felt like I was just laying on the floor of this bathroom from very early in the morning to very late at night, and we weren't even finished, and we've sort of finished it over time. I don't even think it's 100% done even now. We just kind of thought we'd build a box behind our toilet to cover some of the problems with the floor where we couldn't cut it right. We just thought, I don't know, some kind of wooden thing that would fit in would be quite good. But even then, we're like, well, are we going to cut it? Are we going to make it? We don't have the wood skills to do it. So yeah, that's another thing just there. But yeah, it's a weird one. I'm just thinking about, like, what we think is we'll probably just keep saving and then try and get, Claire's talking about booking someone to do it now, but booking them for July and then really hammering the savings to get it sorted, which is feasible, could work. That'd be awesome. We sort of said if we could aim to get it done by August, I could be in there recording in August. We'd have a spare room so that when lockdown's done, well, our plan is to have half the room with a sofa bed in it, so that like my sister can come and stay and stuff like that, and sleep downstairs and on a proper bed, and then the other half of the room be where my PC is with all my monitors and lights and the TV for gaming on, that kind of thing. And it would just be like a weird room like that where it's all, we even thought about making it all like decorated, I couldn't think of the word then, like nicely, except one end being more like the soundproof things that I talked to you about, because there's like behind it is a utility room, and I don't really want the washing machine banging through it. I don't want the kids being noisy behind it. So we were going to soundproof that wall, and then we were going to I was going to have, because I've got a big wall unit in our living room with all my pop vinyls, all my geeky Pokemon stuff and that on it. And I thought I'd just stick that behind me. That can cover the wall. That would be good. I've got some pictures I can put up and it'll just look nice. But it's like the other 4 walls will be normal. And then that one wall is just going to be completely ruined by me with all my stuff. So it's going to be quite a weird room. Emily was like, I can have sleepovers in there. And I thought, I'm not letting you have a sleepover where like half the room is just you lot and then the other half is all my kit, because you just won't be able to not knock drinks on it. I can imagine them having a sleepover and just covering it in Pepsi. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm really excited about doing it, but it just feels like it's always going to be slightly out of reach until we figure out how much this should be and that kind of thing. And we were told it needs insulating. There'll be a wall and a window, a door put in, a new floor, some plug sockets to be wired in, plastering obviously, new lights put in. So it does feel like it should cost a lot, but I don't know. We'll see. We had a thing through on Friday that funnily enough, Emily seeing her friend today was a perfect time for us to ask her. We had a letter through saying, did we still want Emily to be on the waiting list for this nice school that we'd put her on the list for back before she'd started in year 7 at the school she's at now. So all of her friends went to that school, and then like 3 of her friends went to the school that she's at now. I'd always wondered whether they'd get in touch, because she'd obviously been on that waiting list, whether she'd want to go, that kind of thing. Because originally we'd kind of thought, she'd felt like, yeah, you know, beforehand it was like, well, everyone I know is going there. I'm really worried. Am I going to know anyone? Blah, blah, blah. And we thought she'll make friends. She's good at making friends, that kind of thing. But, you know, as I say, 90% of the people she grew up with were going to this other place. So this letter came Friday and we meant to have a conversation with her. I was going to say no, and then I thought, we'll ask her first, just in case. Yeah, you never know, do you? I might say to her, do you want to leave your school and go to another school? And she might go, oh my God, I hate it here so much. I've never wanted to tell you, but blah, blah, blah. You know, so she saw her friend today. They spent a couple of hours, about an hour and a half, just chatting at this park. I mentioned that we left her there and we come back to get her. We literally had to go back and get her half an hour later. It was like, well, you might as well just come back with us. But anyway, we asked her tonight. We just said, oh, you know, how was it chatting with her and all of this? I'm sure you all miss each other. And we said, well, just want to ask you something. We got a letter through asking whether you still want your place on the list. It's not saying you've got a place at the school, but it's saying, do you want to stay on the waiting list and eventually move there if they give you a slot? And she just like instantly was like, nah, I'm all right, stay where I am. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, that's really good. And I just felt like that is a what if question, or a did we do the right thing question. It's been in my head for ages, since she obviously got this place and went there, that has now been answered, because she was absolutely like, no, I'm happy where I am. And I thought that's really good. That's a good testament that she'd made good friends. She gets on with the friends she knew there already. She's happy. I think really she's kept in touch with a lot of the ones she really gets on with anyway. I think it's been good for her actually, that the ones who bothered to say, oh, let's hang out, or I think she'd text her friend saying she was going to this park. It turned out later as well so they did sort of meet up. She plays Roblox with a couple of them as well all the time. So I'll come in and go, oh, are you playing with, like, after she's got off it, she's like, oh, so-and-so and so-and-so. And I'm thinking, well, that's, again, good. She's keeping in touch with them people. So, yeah, it's nice. I feel relieved that she's kept in touch. Because when I left primary school, I literally didn't speak to anyone who didn't go to the secondary school I went to, really. I can't think of anyone that I kept contact with at all. And then when we went to college, it was like a couple of people were there and we talked, but really we all just kind of stuck to our secondary school groups. So it's quite funny thinking that, like, for me it was very like that was the end of it, whereas she's kept it going, different world, all of that stuff, but she's taken it in her stride. It's been very good. I think everyone else is all right. Ben's going back to nursery tomorrow, which means that life should be a lot easier this week for teaching Ollie and just having a rest in my lunch break. When I have a lunch break normally, I get like Ben just wanting every bit of attention he can get, bless him, which is, you know, understandable, but he'll get just, he can run nursery ragged, and hopefully he'll fall asleep really early tomorrow night. Ollie's back at school next week, obviously not from this week. He's doing a very limited timetable at first. He's ramping up quite quickly. He'll be on full days by the Thursday, but he's doing like half day Monday, I think before lunch Tuesday, after lunch Wednesday, home all day, Thursday, Friday. So that'll be fine. Emily's just straight back in. I think they should go and have a COVID test and all this stuff on one of the days we had to book it, which is insane. I'm slightly nervous about this whole teachers having to teach over summer thing that they want to do. I feel like that's insane. I just don't understand. Nobody, I mean, correct me if you're a parent that feels differently, because I'm not saying I'm right and you're wrong or anything like that, but I don't know any parents who want their kids to be forced to go in over summer. I don't know any parents who feel like their kids are missing out that much on education that they desperately need to spend even more time in. I feel like teachers have been working really hard all year and need the school holidays desperately. Otherwise they're going to break. If I was a teacher, I'd quit. I would just outright leave. I did, left teaching, but if I was a teacher still, that would be the straw that broke the camel's back. Trying to teach remotely and being in class and teaching over Zoom all this time, to be told I then had to come in over summer, I'd be like, nope, I'm out of here, see you later. I've got no sympathy for the situation with that. Like, from the government's point of view, screw it, change the standards, change the expectations. Ofsted are saying people won't meet targets. The targets are fabricated anyway. I'm very annoyed at the thought that Emily might spend summer at some kind of school. I've not brought it up to her yet because I don't think it will happen, and if it's optional, she ain't going. It just seems insane. Weirdly, in the last lockdown, Oliver went back into school ahead in most stuff, because ahead of where he was, up to speed. He'd done quite well. He'd got up to scratch in reading because he'd done a lot of reading. I feel like they're going to have to work on him in writing. They're going to have to get a lot of, the spelling, grammar, learning what nouns, adverbs, verbs, etc. are. But we've tried to get some of that embedded. I feel like plenty of adults don't know what that stuff is anyway, and they get by in life. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of odd stuff, isn't it? It's that kind of thing of, if you want to be a really good writer in some way or another, then you'd need to know what that stuff is. But if you're planning on working in a different field entirely, it's probably not relevant. And I know but it's also stuff you can pick up later. I just feel like I think it's just motivated by getting people to work over summer and not be on holiday and stuff like that. They just don't want people taking time off, and I'm a bit miffed at the thought of. I feel bad for teachers, really. That's all it is. Mainly, the main thing is I don't think teachers should have to do it. I feel like they deserve their holidays, their holiday time, because it's not really a holiday anyway. It's going to be ruined by other nonsense admin. Anyway, I'm getting political and I shouldn't be doing that, so I'm going to stop that. I don't do that often. I feel like that's part of just me being tired. I am feeling grumpy. I'm feeling grumpy about everything. But I'm hoping Wednesday will just fix it. I didn't want to not do a vlog, but you probably noticed by my voice. My voice I just feel weak, really weak. And I said to Claire, I'm not that worried, but I'm ever so slightly worried about tomorrow. But I don't think it's related. I think it is all down to this jab. And once I have the jab, I'll be great. I don't know how I'm going to feel on Tuesday, whether I'm going to do a video Tuesday. But if I am okay to do one, I'll do one. I think I'll do a short one just to update and say that Monday went fine or whatever. But I do feel like I'm going to be really slow on Tuesday. And then Wednesday morning, first thing's the jab. So hopefully by Wednesday night, Thursday, Thursday's the vlog. Hopefully by then I'll be jumping off the walls. I feel like it does send me a bit loopy the first couple of days. I'll be hyperactive and then I'll calm down. But it's such a weird situation. I never thought I'd have to be in something like that. But I feel like I'm running on fumes. So yeah, hope you're all well. Let me know how your weekend's gone. Let me know how your week had just gone. What you're up to next week. How do you feel about the kids going back to school and staying here over summer and stuff like that? Yeah, thoughts on the garage conversion stuff, because I feel like that's going to be a big project we need to sort out, and I really don't know who to trust. kind of wish as well that there was just a de facto obvious company. Like, if you don't know anything about PCs, you just go to PC World and buy a PC because they're PC World, you know, and you accept that it's not the best thing you can get, but it'll do and it's under warranty. You know, there's not like a Currys for garage conversions. There's not, you know, if I buy a bed, I can go to Dreams. If I want a sofa, I can go to DFS. There's none of these are sponsored, by the way. You know, there's no garage conversions or us that I can just go and look around and then buy it and they come around and they just slot it in. I mean, God, I wish that was a thing. If they could just have a big wrecking ball that just swung and went ching and just went into the slot and it was just a full room in there and they just a window there and they just carve a door through quickly and that's job done. Maybe they wouldn't have to swing it in with a wrecking ball. That's just how my brain works with it. Just open the garage door, slot the room in, whip the garage door off, job done. That's how it should be. There's just not enough engineers in this industry. I'm sure that'd be well more expensive. But anyway, I'm waffling because I'm losing it. But yeah, let me know how you're doing. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll catch up with you soon. Cheers.